great example here is that going back to that our reputation really means a lot to us.
I mean, we do a lot of free stuff, if you will, for people.
Right.
But I mean, it's not like
No.
we're out trying to lose money.
No, but what I mean by this is, let me bring it full circle for you, is that the reputation that we have is we are going to go the extra mile for people.
Yeah,
And sometimes
whatever
that
it
extra
takes.
mile means that we're overextending some of our things because we want to make sure we're doing the best job for you. But that's why that relationship stuff, we don't go and just take every listing or take every buyer out there to work with them. Because if we know that they're unrealistic out the gate, we're not going to have them sit there and badmouth that we didn't do the right job for them because of their unrealistic expectations.
I know. The other day when we went to that listing appointment together, remember we left there?
Yeah.
And we were looking at each other. We had smiles on our face. And we just go, these people would be really fun to work with.
Yeah.
See, and that, I don't know about you. Yeah, I mean, I just don't want the drama. I don't want the stress of working with somebody that really should have said in the beginning, I don't think we're a good fit.
Yeah. And there's no shame in that. There's no. And you know what? In the very beginning, this is why I love that there's no commitment out the gate. And we say that when we first meet somebody, we're like, just so you know, if this doesn't feel like a good fit, we're not twisting your arm to work with us, and same. Or if we go on something, we're not saying we're automatically working with you, because at the end of that appointment, you might be hell on wheels, and not in a good way, that we're like, we will let someone else go on that roller coaster. But
there's plenty of wonderful, awesome people
absolutely
out there
that we get to work with. Yeah. And there was a listing appointment that we went on where the sellers said we had actually a really unpleasant experience with a realtor a few years back, and we just are really cautious about getting back into a relationship with another. And when you started thinking about it, it was like, well, you were never in a relationship with that other agent to begin with. That's why it wasn't a good fit, because you weren't actually in relationship.
That's such a good point, Rachel, because let's be honest about this, not just the market, but just life in general. I don't care how good something is, how well it's going, how smooth a transaction is. There's always going to be some kind of a hiccup, something. There's just no such thing as perfection.
Right.
So that's where the communication and being able to resolve any conflict that comes up is vital. This just comes to mind when we start talking about resolving conflict and things. And I really want to put a plug in here for people that own a home, that you really, really need to have a trust. And that's why one of the things that we prep people for is have an extra. You're going to buy a house. You're already going to be putting a ton of money down. Go and save that extra $3,000 to $5,000 and just automatically assume that if you're buying a house, you're getting a trust. The moments later, as soon as you close, we have trusted professionals that we're going to link you with, so you can put the home into a trust. And the reason being is this is what comes to mind, as our dear friend who passed, right? And you actually officiated their wedding. I got to be a witness. So these are not just randos, these are people that we were in relationship with, right? Mm-hmm. And the one thing, part of it is a regret on my end that we didn't push a little bit harder about getting a trust right after closing on that property, but helped him buy a home. And then he suddenly passed, and his home is not in a trust. Now it's going to probate. It's going through probate, but it's important. I mean, when we in our checklist of things to do, that always comes up in the conversation.
Always.
Are your assets protected?
Right. And
so that's why we provide a couple of seminars a few times a year, invite whoever wants to come. It's always open to the public. Come in and talk with a trusted professional who can help you out with your trust, your will, whatever kind of legal situations that you need to tie up some loose ends and make sure that you're protected. But sometimes it just slips between the cracks, Well,
we get busy living life. Life's, right? We just get on a roll, we buy a house, things close, and we're on to the furniture, the this, the that. Before you do any of that, what's most important is a trust, right?
Yeah.
And making sure that the biggest purchase of your lifetime is protected, because now his poor wife, he's passed, and
this home is going through court stuff, and she might not ever see a penny of that. She might, and she might not. And that's the unfortunate thing about this.
Well, there's another connection right there. When we're talking teamwork, attorneys and legal folks, in addition to escrow and lenders and all that, attorneys play a big part in the real estate space.
A huge part.
And so
we're not in an attorney state like, on the East Coast, where there's plenty of states where to do a real estate transaction, you are actually dealing with an attorney. You do have a realtor too, but attorneys do your paperwork and all the legal stuff. That's not us here, but for things like your trust or all other things legal when it comes to a home, to have that person in your corner and to have those vetted people is such a big deal.
Really
I can't tell you how many agents contact me. I know I would imagine they're contacting you, but I get so many agents that contact me, I would say weekly, asking me for someone off of our trusted vendor list, because we have we have made that part of our life's work in real estate, is creating vendors that we trust, that we break bread with, that we know how they do business, so that way we can refer them out to other people. So